We've been working on recruitment since the end of the season. It's an ongoing process. We don't just simply start our work in the transfer windows, we have to do it earlier than that. So we've identified key positions, we've identified key targets, and you have to spend your time working through them, doing your homework. The Premier League has only just finished. Lee and I are out travelling tomorrow and Wednesday, meeting players' representatives, meeting agents, meeting clubs, talking about what we're looking for. So hopefully, in the not too distant future, we'll see some announcements with players coming in, but we won't rush it. It's very, very early in the window. As I said, the Premier League has only just finished. Championship clubs, a lot of people are on holiday at the moment, and normally what happens in the next 2 to 3 weeks, it starts to build up. But trust me, behind the scenes, we have another recruitment meeting again this week. The detailed analysis of the players and positions that we're looking for is an ongoing process. Meeting with Lee shortly again today to discuss that. And as soon as we've got anything concrete, the fans will be the first to know.
It always seems to be a little bit of a domino effect, doesn't it? It's almost, once that first deal happens, then it triggers a whole series of events right across the leagues.
Yeah, I think it's almost like a spider's web, and people say it moves by the day, it actually moves by the hour, because players who you don't think are available, as you've just said, 3 clubs down the line, someone moves, it triggers the domino, that player's suddenly available that wasn't available, and the market moves again. But for us, it's about being on the front foot. Rather than waiting to see who is available, it's about for us trying to identify who we want, what we want, when we want them, and then moving proactively forward. But you have to have 3, 4, 5, 6 targets in each of the positions that you're looking for, and have done your own homework on that, because it's natural that some won't come, some will change their mind, some clubs won't let them out, some will be too expensive, some will get injured, etc., etc. So you have to have options, and I think over the last probably 12 to 18 months, the options that we have in our recruitment department meetings in each key position has grown substantially, both nationally and internationally. We are looking to bolster currently our recruitment department, so over the next couple of months there will be additions in staff to the recruitment department, because it's something that we have to build for the long term, and it has to be a constant. And that piece of work is almost it's a machine that sits behind the scenes and keeps generating names, keeps generating the potential players for now, but also for the future. Because remember, we recruit in 2 or 3 areas. We're recruiting into our academy, we're recruiting into our 23s for the next 12 to 18 months, and we're recruiting for the here and now. And we have to get all 3 right. What we have to do is show a pathway right the way through. I think that's really important, and that's something we'll continue to do.
Is there a magic number in mind in terms of first team additions?
We have a shape to the squad. I think Lee has said that he would like to work with a slightly smaller squad, a slightly tighter squad, and I can understand that. But I think particularly around the first team, as I said, we've got the 3 key areas that we're looking to recruit in, but for the here and now, anything we recruit has to make us better. What we don't want to do is simply collect numbers and collect players. We have a strong 23s. We had a number of players out on loan last year. And when you look at the impact that the closing of the loan window has had, it's important that those players are ready. So, next season Zach Viner's going to get game time. There will be others. Bobby will get probably more game time, etc. Joe Bryan's had a fantastic season. His game time has quadrupled over the last 18 months. So that underbelly has to come through and support the here and now. But the players that we bring in for the here and now have to make us better, and I think that's really, really important. So the type, the character, the technical specification of those players we bring in is absolutely key. And trust me, there is a hell of a lot of work going on behind the scenes to identify the right ones.
There's been a clear profile in place in terms of the sort of person you're bringing to the club as well, and that goes down to age and experience, and developing young players has been a clear philosophy here. Does that remain very much in place?
100%, that doesn't change. It can't, it has to be a consistent, and it's one of the reasons that Lee Johnson, Dean Holden, and Macca are so important to us because they fully understand that specification, that type of player that we're trying to develop. We have to have a pathway all of the way through. It's one of the things that we believe will make us unique as we move forward. And I think if you look at this football club over the last 2 or 3 years and the number of players that have progressed from the academy, progressed from the 23s and come in and done really well. In addition to that, we've acquired younger players. I think Callum O'Dowd has had a solid season. Josh Brownell's had a good season, as we've just said. Joe's gone on to another level. Maggie came in and had a good spell in the season. But they're young players, and they have to be bolstered by the right amount of experienced players. That doesn't necessarily mean older players, by the way. Remember, Bailey Wright's not particularly old, but he's hugely experienced, and I think he's made a big impact to us. So we have to get that balance right, and that's something that we're consistently striving to do.
On the other side of things, we've said goodbye to Mark Little. Aaron Wilbraham's been offered a different kind of deal. Is there a time frame on when you expect an answer from him?
No, we've sat down and had a conversation with Aaron about what it would look like being with us next season, and what the responsibilities outside of playing would look like. That meeting went extremely well. There's two elements to Aaron. There's Aaron the footballer and Aaron the human being, and both have been exceptional for this football club. But we've both got to be happy that the deal moving forward is right, and I think that's important. So there's no rush on it. We've sat down, we've talked to Aaron at length, we've talked to his representatives at length, and we'll step through that over the next week or so. With regards to Mark Little, yes, Mark has departed the club, and again I just go on record as thanking Mark for everything that he's done. Again, Mark Little the player has done extremely well for us, but Mark Little the human being has also been fantastic for this football club, and I wish him extremely well for whatever club he moves to moving forward.
Just finally, I know how busy you are trying to bring players in. Is there a need at all for players to leave if new ones are to arrive?
No, not at all. Not at all. As I just said to you, the market is just starting to move. Next 2 or 3 weeks it will heat up. You can't say that the clubs won't come in for our players, but we have no desire to sell anyone. We have no plan to sell anyone, but the market moves, and we have to be prepared in every position just in case anything happens that we weren't expecting. But time will tell. But no, the answer to that is categorically we are not under pressure to sell anyone. Contractually, our players are all locked down. So anyone that leaves this football club will leave on our terms.